PJ Washington, they used to be a team called the Celtics, the Frisco Celtics. They were, Boston Green, everything back in the day. Hey,
I think I remember them. I think I actually coached against them.
Yeah, Paul was the coach. And
wow.
and they had a dynamic duo, him and Chris, and they ended up breaking up. And I couldn't understand it for the life of me. You know what? It's probably best I didn't say his name anyway. He wanted his son to be on the ball, and Paul, wanted his son to have some ball time. One of the things I give Paul Washington credit on was, I remember when I was in high school, when I first moved here, there was a guy named Marvin Washington who used to play for the New York Jets in San Francisco 49ers. And if he's listening here, shout out to you, Marv. You're still my dude. Marv was the star player at Kimball High School. 6'6", chiseled, muscle. I mean, looked like a football player, but didn't play football. Played strictly basketball. And all he could do was dunk. He went to UTEP, right? He goes to UTEP, right? And Don Haskins is the infamous Don Haskins is the coach, and he could never really get on the floor at UTEP because he couldn't do what? He couldn't shoot the ball. He couldn't handle it. He couldn't dribble the ball. All he was taught was catch and dunk, but no one taught him how to handle the ball and how to shoot. And that was the difference between him being a pro basketball player and he ended up being a football player, because he sure could hit and he could run. Because basketball, gave him great agility skills. I think he got a Super Bowl and everything with the 49ers. But I bring that story to you because I always said when I saw that if I ever had a kid and who was tall early, I was going to make him do nothing but ball handling dribbles. Just like I did with my boy right now. I got nothing but ball handling drills because you never know how tall they're going to be. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a tall kid early, you definitely need to be getting them ball handling skills. So going back to the story with PJ, Paul knew this. Paul's pretty tall as well, right? The dad, he's like 6'4", 6'5", right? And one thing that he says, I never got that training that when I came up. And so when I'm thinking about Marv Washington, and I'm thinking about what he's telling me, and I'm saying how these stories really connect, and that he's on to something that he definitely need to do. Because I always said from the Marv Washington story that if I had a kid, I don't care how tall he was, we're gonna get him on the ball. He's gonna have to play some point. He's gonna have to get some ball time handling the point. He don't have to be the full-time point guard, but he's gonna play some point guard. And I think that's what Paul was trying to do, that Chris, the other dad, didn't understand at that time. So they broke up and they went separate ways. And I don't know, I don't want to say it hurt either one of them because they both ended up going, college, they got degrees, but PJ is a pro now. He's been in there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, Chris didn't have that kind of success, but he still got a D1. Well, he got a D1 and then he ended up in D2. But he still got a degree, and that's what we're really supposed to be all in this for, right?